The timing of that reimbursement and new documents are only adding to the scrutiny facing the governor and her administration. The Republican state senator who's pushing for this audit tells me he's hoping it will lead to the truth. Back here you can see trees. It's on top of this, so I wonder, what did this sound like? These are big trees. Did you hear them fall? Tell me about that. Well, it is definitely coming down here in the metro. You can see the roads are behind me. People are making it along just fine, but again, it is falling and it's kind of sticking right now. But the big thing is that is not going to stick throughout the day. That's the big thing that we want people to know. It's kind of turning into a slush. If you were to look onto iDrive right now, you would just see a lot of pink. See, we've gotten off the ground and now we're in the basket. We're about to go up. I don't think we're off the ground just yet, but that is okay with me. I'm a little nervous, but it is all right. They're heating up the balloon right now. That's gonna get us off the ground. Oh, and there it is. I can feel it, y'all. We just made it off the ground. We're going up now. And so tell us, you have to focus on this. So as the High Court will likely take up several high-profile cases, like the ongoing dispute between the governor and the State Board of Corrections, which asked the court to weigh in on who runs Arkansas's prison system. We're on the intersection of Burns and Craig Road here in Scott, and there are some trees down just behind me. This road Craig kind of wraps around and comes back onto Burns, and there's some trees down back there, and we'll be showing that to you coming up in the next half hour. But right now, if you weren't with us 30 minutes ago, here is what we're seeing here. This is a lot, and this is a trailer home just behind me, and as you can see, it is completely destroyed. Senate Bill 10, the reworked Freedom of Information Act, is much smaller this morning compared to earlier this week. With lots of progress made on potential changes, the FOIA bill's journey happened in mere moments yesterday. For just about over an hour, it sat with the Senate State Agencies Committee before they passed it. I'm going to show you this. It starts over here next to this building. It's in the Gateway Bank parking lot, and then we're going to come here on 2nd Street, and it is all down this road as well. Now, I feel like you can feel it in the air. It's the opening day. It is starting right here at Oaklawn. The horses are up, the trainers are up, and you can just feel the energy. Hundreds, if not thousands of people will fill the grandstand and apron as first post is set for 12:30 today. Now, Oaklawn's racing season this season will have the largest purse increase in the track's 119-year history. But as Oaklawn's racing season gets started today, they're also introducing some new voices, a new paddock analyst and a new track announcer. And you know what, guys, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not coming back. It's okay. Y'all have fun down there. Absolutely. And you can tell that the passion runs deep here with just so many people who turned out. 5 million books. Absolutely amazing. I'm so happy to witness it. And just thank you all so much for all that you do.
Wonderful.
This is amazing. All right, guys, it's been a beautiful day. We're gonna go ahead and send it back to you, Ashley and Tracy.
Yeah, thanks, you guys. That was so much fun and awesome being able to witness that.
This morning, a Central Arkansas community is waking up still recovering from the shock of yesterday's mass shooting. We've been closely following this story since yesterday afternoon, and we now know more information about the suspected gunman. What started as a special session about funding the Game and Fish Commission has become more about something else: tax cuts. The Lonoke Police Department is bringing back something the town hasn't had in a while: its own jail. The search for a murder suspect who fled to Arkansas is over. Stacy Drake is accused of 4 recent killings. Police arrested him yesterday, and he's due in court this morning. Many communities celebrate Pride Month now. It's a pretty recent trend, and now some people online are asking about its origins. Ariane Till with our Verified team finds out how the movement began. Ahead of the first day of school for most kids, the governor said 180 or 75% of Arkansas schools have joined the phone-free program. Check this out. Renderings are turning into reality in Pine Bluff, where the school district has officially broken ground on its new high school. The woman who repeatedly threatened to kill Governor Sarah Sanders by blowing up her office has now pleaded guilty. Eudora in Chico County is the closest town in Arkansas to the devastation in Rolling Fork, Mississippi. The first volunteers from Eudora arrived minutes after the tornado hit. This week, we're eating it up at a familiar place, Copper Mule. You'll remember they opened first in Bryant during the middle of the pandemic. Now they've gained so much buzz, they've opened the second location here in Little Rock. This Southern-style restaurant combines that Cajun Creole cuisine with the love of serving those who walk through their doors. Are y'all ready? Let's eat it up. I always get the crawfish dip. There's a reason why. It tastes like you're in the bayou. It tastes just like that. Scott, you were right. That might be the best potato salad. Scott? This is 5th bite, I think. So good you don't even realize when it falls on your shirt. Are you tired of all this gloomy winter weather? Are you thinking maybe take a vacation somewhere tropical?
Maybe I am.
Jamaica.
You know what? You don't even need a plane ticket for an authentic taste of Jamaica right here at Yaman in West Little Rock, where they are so proud to share their Jamaican heritage one dish at a time.
And you know, Jamaican food is rich with spice and flavor. So is the story behind why this family now calls Central Arkansas home.
Are you ready?
Yeah, man.
Let's eat it up.
Scott, look at this. We have a taste of Ukraine and Italy right at our fingertips.
This new coffee shop on Maumelle Boulevard is the dreams come true of Bruno and Yulia, the owners of this new shop, and it has folks in this community eating it up.
And now, so are we.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's eat it up. This week, Mackailyn and I are your tour guides on a first-class trip all the way to Africa.
And Scott, I have to say, I'm so excited about this because we're trying authentic African cuisine, which is a first for both of us.
From right here on historic Wright Avenue all the way to Africa, it's Afro Bites, connecting our two cultures, and that's what we're here to learn about today.
And most importantly, we're going to be telling you what to order when you come stop by.
So join us. It's time
To eat it up.
You know, it may be winter, but it turns out you can actually still go to camp too.
And this camp has Mexican ramen, tacos, and small batch beer.
Now that's gonna leave me a happy camper. It's as much of an experience as it is really good food. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's eat it up.
Scott, let's go back.
Okay.
In 1989, Mickey's Cakes and Sweets was opened as the first Black-owned commercial bakery in this state.
Of course, some things have changed over the decades, but one that hasn't, Mickey's original recipe still used today.
And the history of this place is shared by generations of Arkansans.
Mackailyn, I've got a sweet tooth. I can't handle it anymore. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's eat it up. So we have the red velvet cake and the...
Italian cream.
This is good.
That's a winner.
We're gonna go with a key lime mini pie. They sell these here. Just call ahead, come in. They got them in their case.
I'm knocked out.
After this.
Getting colder.
You know, Mackailyn, all summer long, we've been helping the folks at home beat the heat with some cool summer treats.
And you know when I think of beating the heat, I think Italian.
You know, I assume you're not talking about pasta.
No, Scott. I'm talking Italian ice, specifically the Breezy Scoop here on Stagecoach. I'm gonna go for this pineapple breeze.
So I'm gonna go with the pineapple infused lemonade. She makes this lemonade by hand every day, and then she infuses it with
The Italian ice.
Let's do it.
It looks like little green apples
Yes.
with the caramel on top.
So I've been saving the blue.
Yes,
Oh, good. you really like that salad.
I do. This is like my half price.
There is a cold front moving up I-30 and Baseline in Little Rock.
You know, I'm feeling a breeze.
Mackailyn, it's literally the air conditioner. This is good too, though.
They have BB King and Michael Jackson.
And you see it Nelly. And well, speaking of 1999, that's when this place opened its doors. Today, we're at Too Sweet Bar and Grill.
It's here on Stagecoach in Little Rock. And you know what people say about this place?
What's that?
Good people, good food. That's what you're gonna get when you walk through these doors.
And we hear the heartbeat of this place is family and fun. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's eat it up.
After getting nowhere on her own, a frustrated Monique Moore reached out to THV 11. Her children's bus stop sits off of the intersection of Leander and Canis Road. She and other parents say the busy intersection makes them worry for the safety of their elementary-aged kids, and they want the bus stop moved. We monitored the area on 2 separate occasions and were shocked by what we saw.
We standing down here praying every day, praying that we get up the hill, praying, praying for the safety of the children.
Monique Moore's 2 children and granddaughter are students in the Little Rock School District. She walks them to their bus stop every morning. But it's not just a walk to the edge of their apartment complex, it's a hike to Canis Road.
We got to walk up, and that's still on one side, and still come down the hill, and that's on one side, and then you have to cross over the street to get to this side.
On their walk, they have a system, youngest in the front as she keeps guard in the back. You can see here, she crosses halfway, letting the kids run across with her supervision. That system continues as they make it to the bus stop.
They have to stand behind the fire hydrant for their safety, so they're not nowhere near the curb.
This grassy area is only steps away from the busy intersection.
This is Canis and John Barrow. This is a racetrack. Just sit out here, not even 5 minutes, and watch, and you'll see the speed of the traffic. How no one wants, as I call this sign, to pause and roll, because that's what they do, pause and roll, because they're not looking.
The speedy traffic and lack of awareness of drivers is the biggest push, and why Moore and other parents, like Deosha Agnew, want something done.
The cars, they don't slow down. They come around this curve right here very fast, and they can easily hit one of these kids if they try to cross over here to this sidewalk. It's very, very, very unsafe. And I'm not even safe myself standing down here, and I'm 40 years old.
Agnew stands with her 2 kids. Her youngest is in kindergarten.
These are little bitty kids. These kids can't stand down here alone. We have to be here for them. I have a 5-year-old. I would not dare leave her down here.
Both parents have voiced their concerns with the proper channels, but say they've been dismissed.
I've been down there twice. I've made phone calls. Y'all don't call me back. You don't want to answer the phone. We're not being heard.
Agnew says in her discussions, she's brought up instances of other Little Rock school buses making the trip up the hill.
Telling me that no buses come up there, and I actually got it on video. I recorded it myself.
And we did too. This bus, turning right on Leander, went up to one of the 2 apartment complexes on the street. Moore says they want this same treatment.
Right at the end of our apartment complex, because it's already a baby that catches up on the bus right there. We know there's a bus that'll come up there, more than one. So why can't they catch a bus up there?
THV 11 reached out to the Little Rock School District. Officials there directed us to First Student, a contractor that provides services for eligible non-special needs. So they make the bus routes for the students. In a statement, First Student says, quote, "Safety is our top priority. We are aware of the concerns about a bus stop off Canis Road and have carefully evaluated it. Our routing team and drivers have found it to be the safest option for students, parents, and other drivers. We will keep monitoring this location and traffic situation," end quote. In our second meeting at their bus stop, Moore explained she did get this safety stop request form, her first sign of progress.
So they got the original, and I kept the copy, so that way they can't say, hey, you didn't do nothing about it. Yes, I did.
For now, Moore is waiting for the next step. But as the school year continues, her worries are mounting.
When daylight savings time roll around, and I go stand out there in the middle of that street with a flashlight to let my babies cross the street, I'd rather take the chance of getting hit before I let them get hit. We're gonna speak up for ours. Yeah. Move the bus stop. Think about the safety of these babies.
Now, Monique says if nothing changes, her kids will not be put in that situation further, and she will have to find an alternate way to get them to school. Now, according to a statement sent to us by the district, any request for a safety stop with a transportation team made by a parent or guardian will be reviewed by a panel, which is responsible for evaluating such cases, and they will provide a decision within 30 days. So we will continue to monitor what happens for Monique, the other parents, and their young students. Mackailyn Johnson for Wake Up Central. A groundbreaking musician who paved the way for new artists and genres.
Folk, rock, R&B, boogie woogie, jazz, blues, gospel, at a minimum, were all of the genres that she had a great deal of impact on. She was one of the first charismatic solo female singers in gospel music.
Sister Rosetta Tharpe didn't just sing gospel, she altered it. Instead of using a piano like male gospel singers before her, she played an electric guitar.
And I sang.
One, she was a woman playing the guitar, which is very unusual at that time because the guitar was associated with blues and it was associated with men.
This unusual aspect of Sister Rosetta Tharpe's music didn't end there. In the mid-40s, she worked with a trio who introduced a new style called boogie woogie. While she sang to this new style, she also danced to it, something that was new, different, and according to music professor Rolf Grosbeck, inspired the one people remember as the hip-moving king Elvis.
Very physically moving. She didn't just stand in one place and sing. She just moved. She just moved in a very, very free way. And I think a lot of his onstage presence owes a lot to her as well. They said she's doing something like what is morphing into rock and roll now.
This is what makes her the godmother of rock and roll.
And when she went abroad and gave tours in the 50s and 60s, some of the people at the tours were guitarists like Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck, these kind of big rock and roll guitarists. They listened to Sister Rosetta Tharpe and said that's like our inspiration.
But as she inspired the next major genre of rock and roll and its artists, her name was never really connected to it.
It was hard for African Americans to sell their music for white audiences.
Sister Rosetta Tharpe's impact was almost erased.
We'll accept the white musicians doing it, but we won't accept the African Americans who inspired that. And that sort of thing was just so much a part of the early to mid 20th century. And it's ended up with the erasure, I think, of a lot of African American musicians.
Artists like Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Little Richard. These are the names with the most rock and roll notoriety, not the godmother of the genre. But a new page turned in 2018 when Sister Rosetta Tharpe finally got her due.
It's been long overdue. I'm honored to induct Sister Rosetta Tharpe into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And I think bringing Sister Rosetta Tharpe into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a way of saying we're going to do that. We're not going to have ironclad boundaries because rock and roll itself doesn't.
Here at home, the boundaries she broke are beginning to see light thanks to the induction. Right off of Main Street in downtown Little Rock, the Cotton Plant native's face, with guitar in hand, is now a mural with the words of one of her songs, Shout, Sister, Shout.
As a creative, painting someone who's a creative who never received recognition in her lifetime, like that's a hard truth.
It's a hard truth lead muralist Jessica Jones is happy to face to get people familiar with the godmother of rock and roll.
That she had such impact and for so long didn't get recognition, I think it's never too late.
It's never too late is a sentiment Dr. Grosbeck echoes, because as he explains, many genres pay homage to Sister Rosetta Tharpe, even if they don't realize it.
If it was important to Elvis, if it was important to Jeff Beck and so forth, it's important to us. We need to know more about this sort of thing. And Sister Rosetta Tharpe is so much a germ, a foundation from which a great deal of this music came.